listeners around the world. So fortunately, Professor Nkadi is here with us. We are going to move into the Nigeria presentation. So welcome.
I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody watching here, present, and then those of them online. This is a report, a preliminary report from the research we carried on between June, and still some parts of it are going on. My name is Nkadi Onyegegbu from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and my colleague is on his way. I hope he hasn't lost his way. Job Ominyi, who is the WASH officer from UNICEF, and then he is responsible for managing administratively this project, MHM project in Nigeria. We are looking at the improvement of menstrual hygiene management among girls in Nigeria, a case for active contribution of the stakeholders. What you're seeing that Nigeria is a very, very large, complex country, and with a population of over 177.5 million people. This is an estimate from 2014 UN United Nations estimate. Looking at this population makes it the largest populous country in Africa, the mother of Africa and the giant of Africa. Just like its giant has its own giant problems, especially when it has giant issues and wash facilities, and then again putting it to menstruation of girls in school. And if you look at what we have out there, Nigeria is made up of 3 major ethnic groups. I would like you to take a look at the pie chart, which describes the proximity of the, an estimate of the population of the ethnicity in Nigeria. Right at the north, we have the, from these ethnic groups, we have one at the north, the Hausa Fulani group in the north, and in the southeast, we have the Igbo group. Then in the southwest, we have the Yoruba group. And then about 250 other ethnic groups scattered north and south, west and east of Nigeria. So you can see from the culture of Nigeria that it has a problem. So the culture of Nigeria is built not only on its ethnicity, the religious aspect also comes into being, and then the beliefs. And what's up when we now start talking about the menstrual hygiene management in schools. So you will then, I would like you to look at the percentage of the ethnicity there, because it plays an important role in this research. One, that this is the first time in the history of research in MNH, research in Nigeria, that is taking the whole of all the major ethnic groups in totality, brought them together, we looked at it, and then again finding out, showing how important it is in this research that the majority of the ethnic groups we are taking into consideration. This is what I'm saying. Again, we have serious issues in girls' education in Nigeria. One, the literacy level in Nigeria, instead of going up, it's going down, in the sense that there is a big disparity of girls attending school, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. About 4 million people between the age of 6 to 11 are not in school. And then it's worsened by the insurgence of, and mostly from the northern part of Nigeria, and then worsened with the Boko Haram insurgency, which makes it a little bit more difficult, again, if you look at it in terms of schools and then facilities, and then talking about MHM in Nigeria. But we are moving ahead. So, girls' education, one, is a problem in Nigeria, and it's a serious issue in Nigeria. Secondly, Nigerian government, they are trying so hard, and they recognize that once you train a girl, invariably you're training the whole country. you are training the nation. They realize that, knowing that again, they have the scope of Nigeria is so, not so good in terms of provision of facilities for the schools that are kind of emerging up, and especially the schools coming from the south, west, and the south east. And I would like you to look again in the north. The religion plays a very important role in the sense that they are mostly Muslims. In the southeast, they are mainly Christians, and in the southwest, where the study took place, they are mostly a combination of the Muslims and the Christians. So when we are talking about HM, we also play that religion plays a very vital aspect. So this makes Nigeria a case to look at. For the study, we took up two major objectives guided the study. We went and explored the knowledge, the attitude, and the practices, and at the same time, we look at the challenges of mothers and education managers on menstrual hygiene management in school. And again, we try to see if we can make some kind of recommendation that is appropriate with an appropriate action relevant to the stakeholders to make girls' education experience a little bit more comfortable. If we move to the next slide, it tells us about the area that we studied. I said that the area we went into are three major areas representing mainly the major ethnic groups in Nigeria. If you look at the map of Nigeria, the Katsina State representing the northern zone, Fulani ethnic, Hausa Fulani ethnic group, that is number 20 in the zone up there. And then again, the Anambra State in the southeast, representing the Igbo zone, that is the Igbo ethnic group. And then State, which is next to that of the east, representing the southwest zone of the Yoruba ethnic group. And then wholly, as a whole, Nigeria is divided into 6 major political zones. And we carried out 12, this involved 12 secondary schools, junior secondary schools. And in each of the zones, we carried out 4 secondary schools were involved. And then it covered both the urban areas and the rural areas. May I humbly comment at this point that from the literature review, that this is the first time in the history research of Nigerian MHM research history in Nigeria. All, again, the 3 major ethnic groups are targeted using both qualitative and quantitative data, tools, and well-trained researchers to gather information on menstrual hygiene management. Then the population of the study consists of the in-school menstruating girls from JS1 to 3 rather. Junior secondary school years 1, 2, and 3 were involved. Then we also involved out-of-school girls who are within the age limit of 9 or 10 to 19 years of old, but who have, for some reason or the other, they have dropped out of school due to maybe financial reasons or otherwise early marriage, especially in the north. Then we also, in this group, population consists of boys from junior secondary school years 1 to 3, the principals of the school, the mothers of menstruating girls in that serving school in the communities in which the schools are serving, and also the chairman. This chairman is very, very important, of what we call Parents Association, or what we call, again, School-Based Management Board Committee. And population also consisted of the zonal director of education, and then one most important chairman of the universal basic education. This in every state, federal, parastatal, but in each state, it has a chairman, and the chairman supervises all the schools. Then we adopted what we call the multi-stage random sampling technique. Because of time, I will just go straight through 3 geopolitical areas where we drill the states, making sure that all the ethnic groups are involved, which I have already mentioned. And then that leads to the second stage of, one of the zones being selected. And that goes to the level of the local government area. And then further to the 4th stage where the communities are again involved. And then the 5th stage of the random sampling technique was among schools in those communities, involving urban and rural schools. So on the whole, we had six schools coming from the rural areas and 6 schools coming from the urban area. So you can see in terms of respondent. Then we made sure that each respondent signed a consent and assent form, and then completed what we gave them the social demographic form to fill. If we look at the next slide, it will talk about the data collection and tools. The data for the collection of this is, you're moving a little bit faster, to slide 6. If you go back to slide 6, we have the data collection tools. And then we have the design for the study is mainly descriptive and explorative. And we use 3 quantitative tools in terms of the focus group discussion, the key in-depth discussion, the key informant interview, and again the in-depth interview, IDI. Then we have one qualitative tool, which is called the observation tool, which was used for observation checklist for wash facilities in the school. Then I must also mention that each school was targeted specifically for the population of which it's meant for, and then address the research questions posed on them. If we take, I'm going to take just one of them to illustrate. For focus group discussion with menstruating girls in school, we had 8 in each school. 8 girls forming the focus groups and in each school. And in that discussion, each on the average lasted for 2 hours. And inside the focus group discussion, we also had an activity of for the girls, how they can draw an ideal toilet that is ideal for menstruating girls in their tool. So this is just one of them. And each of these tools was again developed in English and translated, because in the north we have Hausa language, in the southeast we have Igbo language, and in the southwest we have the Yoruba language. So all these were trial tested. They were face validated first, and then content validated, and then at the same time nationally pilot tested, then corrections made, and further at each zone, north, southeast, southwest, you find out because of the language, it was again, pilot testers. And these were administered by experienced researchers who undergo some training, and one of our instructors is here. If I don't mind calling her name, I know she wouldn't mind, I hope. She taught us and really taught us well, and we thank her for that. Anna Ellis from Emory University. And we took up the template, of course, from that of Emory University, bearing in mind the context and the culture of Nigeria. Our findings now. There is a table which I made, this method that I have explained, all the tools used, then the population of the participants, and the total number of activities and the number of participants. Because again, we are supposed to, in the north, the south, and the southeast and west, we are supposed to do this simultaneously. But unfortunately, in the southeast, in the southwest, in Osun State, you can see that it's not covering all the regions. One region is missing. At the time we were supposed to do that, the state went into, their teachers went into strike, but they had not paid, salaries. And so misled Oshu. Oshu State report is not here. Data is not here. But that of the North and the, that of the Southeast are here. So on the whole, we have activities 99 for the 2 states, for the 2 regions, and then the activity number of participants 262. Our major findings. Just like I told you, out of 12 schools we are supposed to do, 8 are there and 4 on the way. That of the Oshu that the teachers are having problems with strike. Then the knowledge of menstruation, we found out that the knowledge of menstruation as a natural biological process is right there. Everybody knows through the interview with both the boys, the girls, it's a natural process. Quite well we know it. But again, stayed with, lots and lots of misleading misconceptions. We have negative, we described negative societal beliefs, which can be misleading. And I will tell you one of them out of the focus group discussion with one of the mothers who said, I told her, that is her daughter that she's now telling, I told her that once a man touches you during your menses, if that thing in a man's body enters your body, you will become pregnant. This is one of the statements coming from the focus group mother. Again, to buttress the negative attitude associated with menstruation, in this 21st century of the giant of Africa, Nigeria, we have no disposal site in our school. But I don't think it's necessary for us to dispose our menstrual or used material inside the disposal site because they pick them up for rituals and make money from our menstruation part. This is a focus group discussion, one of the statements from the girls in school. When I am menstruating, my mother doesn't allow me to drink cold water. She stops licking sweets and other things because they will seize my menstruation. This is focus group and IDI in-depth interview with out-of-school girls. So these are some of the findings. Although they know that menstruation, that is a biological process, the mothers may rejoice about it, but there are still quite a number of negative beliefs associated with the and societal beliefs associated with menstruation. Again, we found out there's some conflicting knowledge of MHM. Take, for example, coming out again, I will read to you what the school teacher, a female school teacher, said. I have a case of a child that started menstruating in JS to junior secondary school. I saw it because it stained her dress. When I asked her, did your mother know? She said no. Her friend told her to use toilet roll and don't tell her mother because she will think you have had sex with a man. This is a key interview with a school female teacher. And then again, we have been coming up with some of the findings. We have some people have reported on the teachers finding it very, very uncomfortable to talk with. Their comfort level is very low. Take, for example, at times, this is from a male teacher, at times when we are teaching menstrual period, some are very shy, their heads under their table, they never open up, others are laughing, and others are doing something else. This is a voice from the male teacher. Then, the next picture you're going to see, the next slide, is lack of appropriate wash facilities affecting menstrual hygiene and including that of disposal of it. If you can turn to the next slide, the picture tells you the whole truth. It's not a good picture to see, but seeing is believing, and then, this is what we have in our school. The types of toilets we found in school, they have flush toilets, we have toilets with, with and without slab, and we have, ventilated, improved toilet. Write what you are saying out there. If that is a toilet, to be a water system, the other one, the VIP, then the other one you're seeing, and then the other one is, the middle one is where you have a block. Attached to that block is the urinary. If you look clearly, sorry, we didn't use high magnification, we are trying, there are plants or bushes growing around there. Then one of them that is very heartbreaking, you see this on the last picture you're seeing there, is, a toilet, a block of toilet of 10, but covered with bush. The bush extended out to the other end, but when we came the first day, we told them we don't have access to this, clear it so that we can, so they did. These are the conditions of, the toilet facilities in some of the schools in Nigeria. Is appalling, and then you can now tell what kind of with a menstruating girl use in there. You will find out that, the toilets are inadequate, and then they are segregated. Some of them, all these toilets, they are locked up, and then they're unclean, they are bushy. So we have a ratio. That was why I asked that question. We have a ratio of one toilet to about, outrageous, because of the population of the country, 600 children. You can have, a population of 1,600 and something in school, and this includes both their teachers, the staff of the school, where the toilet facilities are either not there, and then, they are there, but not being in good condition to use. So they lock them up, just like the other school did. So these are the highlights of the poor, unhygienic toilet we have, with the doors not being there, the urinary cover with, and no proper facilities for disposing. Most of the facilities we found for disposing of their menstrual material, used menstrual material, we found out that most of the girls, we just wrap them in the, I was happy when somebody was narrating it, wrap them in a plastic or whatever, put it in a bag. When they don't have it confident that they will throw it in there because somebody will pick them up and go and do something with it, or from juju and make money out of it, or they will get home and put them in their pit toilets or just dispose of them. Then another major finding, which is very interesting, that formed the stem of this topic, that is a case for the education managers or stakeholders, is that of the education managers, their willingness to support and contribute towards the improvement of MHM in schools. And for example, one of that is the State Universal Basic Education Chairman said this: hygiene is at the forefront of the government administration, and we are committed to it in ensuring that things go well. With this, we are able to I will advise those of them that are still and listening out there, once you have an opportunity, grab it. It was a very good opportunity for us to grab, so we can start doing something immediately, even before public announcement of finding our findings. So we used that opportunity. Can I have the next slide, please? So these were all the interviews, ranging from the mothers of menstruating girls to chairmen, zonal education directors, and all the stakeholders or education holders. You find out that they're able to do something, say something, that they are interested, and they will contribute to the development of MHM. These are further pictures that we need to see. The girl, the ones, proper sink you're seeing there are not well connected, and then they have this wash hand things. And this is how the disposal of how their disposal facility is open air. Some have pit, to dog hole to dispose, and it's not easy for a menstruating girl to do that, especially with all the beliefs and the taboos associated with them. Can we have the quick faces, please, since I have only 2 minutes to go?
1 minute.
These were the suggestions made by the education managers of the school. They said there is a need for appropriate and adequate sanitation and hygiene facilities, and it must be segregated. And the facility for hygienic disposal of menstrual material must be there. Then water is a major source in, most of the school, and if they're there, they are a long distance away from where the girls immediately coming out from the toilet can wash their hands and have water to wash their hands. So most of them are stored in storage cans, either underground or on top. The system for sustained observation and monitoring of wash facilities should be also there, and the menstrual hygiene management education in schools and home, and provision of free sanitary pads for emergency cases in school. The schools are now inculcated that they should have sick bays where sanitary pads are being made. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, it's obvious from the pictures you have seen or from the photos you have seen that wash facilities in our schools are very, very unsatisfactory. They are inadequate. They lead to, very low student-to-toilet ratio, very high, and invariably posing major challenges for menstruating girls in school. Then for the program we have thought, this is what we are going to do. Then a revisit of all the secondary schools in the communities and MHM, that is MHM, not HMH, topics, and then, and wash facilities, and then organize seminars for principals. Principals are very active in Nigeria. They have their national association, and it stems down also that of their state association. So we have put a loophole where we are going to use this and then insert MHM issues on them and maybe deliver talks on basis MHM in schools. They need to know and then improve, and yes, they have to do that. Again, follow up on the state level of the next order slide, please. I've not finished. Follow up on the state level of implementation of the benchmark of, That's why I said for this organization and those hearing us and those who are still yet to carry on with this project, have an opportunity, grab it. We had an opportunity of the state Universal Basic Education Chairman, who is the overseer of a small parastatal in the state. He sees about all the secondary schools and primary schools, so he was very interested, and he said, immediately, you must give us this opportunity, present your findings, and then we did immediately to him, and then he called up all these supervisors at the hygiene level to listen to this, and we gave them the benchmark of how terrible of findings, at least starting from the wash facilities, and they have started implementing, putting in place supervisors that you have to go to school to, supervise the hygiene level of the school, which is a step. And at the community level in the church, women go to church a lot in Nigeria, so we're also at the community level going to use that opportunity and talk to women on menstrual hygiene issues, and then development of some, ICI that, of course, trash has a home. The menstrual hygiene management use material has a home. So these are some of the things we intend to. Our next step, that will be the next slide, if I may say. The next slide, please. And then the data for completion in the Southwest, which has a problem, is ongoing, and I think they have completed. We are analyzing our data, and then we are going to propose a national report. We will try to make sure how these are disseminated, and through many, which I have also mentioned, and then implementation of our recommendation. I would like to thank especially all those teachers who taught us very well at the Emory University online course. I was surprised to see you. Thank you very much. And Anna came to Nigeria and really tutored us. All the ICT members and all these donors, we really appreciate. There is no doubt, I promise you, and I repeat, there is no doubt that this is the beginning in the history of Nigeria, that MHM will go lots of places and will impact the menstruating girls. Thank you very much.
So wonderful, wonderful presentation from Nigeria, and we don't have a lot of time, but just very quickly, one, just to underscore, this is one of the 14 countries in the Wins for Girls project supported by the Canadian government and led by UNICEF and Emory University, partnering with countries, wonderful academics, in these different countries. And so I think one of the reasons we're getting lovely comments and emails while we sit there about how this conference is better than last year's conference is lots of people's presentations, but particularly what's coming in from these 14 countries. So many thanks to the Canadian government and everybody who's been involved in that. Other comments, you answered one of the questions. There was a question around, are there any men in Nigeria standing up to advocate for this issue? I know your colleague from UNICEF is a man and he's not here yet, but you also spoke to the experience you had at the parastatal level. There were other questions around, well, again, can a man give a vision with regards to rights and equity on MHM? But more specifically, there were some questions from Ghana asking about the use of urinals, saying that urinals are used quite frequently by women in Ghana, and that we're talking a lot today about latrines, but not specifically about urinals, and that is an issue if girls don't have toilet paper to wipe them down, and wondering if urinals are something that's common in Nigeria and how you address that. There have also been questions around war and refugees and how girls and women manage. I'm not going to sort of speak to that right now because it's not, I mean, certainly Nigeria probably has to think about that in terms of displaced people sometimes. But there's been a commentary back to that on the chat box around the role of UNICEF and other organizations that are trying to address MHM in emergency context. There were other specific questions around for Nigeria. Do you use the same tools when you're doing research with the different religious affiliations? Are you distributing the same materials in working with the different religious affiliations on the issue of MHM? Unfortunately, we only have about a few minutes, but do you want to speak to any of those, Professor Nkadi? And then if there's questions from the room, if there's still time, we'll take them.
Yes, for the urinaries, usually when there's this project by MDG, Millennium Development Goal, and then each state was supposed to build, and some states did, and the Southeast did, the Southwest did. I don't know what happened in the North because of again, I told you that Nigeria is shaped with this culture of ethnicity and then religion and then their beliefs. The religion in the North seemed to be a little bit more of a challenging, especially to girls. So the urinary, the MDG, they built these toilets and then attached urinary to it. And these urinaries are just open, there's no to it. So in most cases, they prefer to use the bush and then causing open defecation for some of them, especially when you watch the last picture that showed the toilet, the toilet built with the project from MDG and then covered by bush. And they prefer. I'd like to share this with you, that one of the principles, when you see such total disuse of urinaries and toilets, then we go straight again to have a briefing meeting, a briefing with the principal why this is going on, and then to the that we need to really educate our principal. The principal was so happy. We said, with her open hands, she said, we are blessed with lots and lots of grassland, and then since we don't have water, we cannot flush the toilet. The government is not ready to give us water, and if they are there, they are vandalized. And the next thing you see is that the children and the staff, they go and then, feast themselves to the bush. And she was very confident about it. It took us time to convince her that hygienically that is not good. That is causing more of open defecation in the school. Of the tools, yes, we were very careful in those who went to the North, the researchers, experienced researchers that were trained all together. Everybody was trained together, all together. Those who happen to speak the language, understand their people, they were moved to the North. You must be a Muslim to be able to, get to talk. So it was done that way. That was the only way we could get some information from both the North, Southeast, and Southwest.
Great. Yeah. Okay. So we have a question from Zambia, but in the room.
Thank you for that presentation. This question has come up a second time in my head because I've heard that you involved religious organizations, as well as Uganda also involved religious organizations. I wanted to find out at what point religion and MHM tradition meets, because some of our preliminary findings in Zambia show that with religion, some of the traditions are broken down. So you can't do this or you can't let go this because it's not right, it's not Christian. So how do you reconcile religion and menstrual hygiene management practices or education? At what point do they meet?
Actually, this project you're seeing will have taken off completely 2003. And we came together through UNICEF, both at the zonal level and then at the national level. We drew up some programs, developed some strategies, and developed instruments, and then it was killed at the national level simply because when we are teaching them menstrual hygiene, management, that we are teaching them how to have sex. This is total misconception. So I thank the organizers again. Now that we have the opportunity, it has come up and it cannot be killed, and they have quietly accepted it. And as you're doing this to the hygiene aspect, the Northerners are scared about, the Ebola thing. And then this is helping a lot. So Nigerians are now getting up and saying, everybody must know about it. It's not about sexuality education. MHM is not about sexuality education. So this is where you get, does that answer your question?
Hi, this is Linda Sussman from USAID. I'm just wondering, you mentioned that one of the groups that you interviewed was out-of-school girls, and we haven't really been hearing, we've been hearing mostly school-based research. So I thought that was really interesting, and maybe you could talk a little bit more about what you found or why you focused on out-of-school girls.
Yeah, out-of-school girls in the same age range from 10 to 19 years of age. Those girls have been somehow attended school at some level, and maybe in the junior secondary school year 3, where they need to pay a little bit of school fees, of their exam school fees, they drop out, and then they have almost all the same findings, with that there was not that much difference between, their beliefs or their experiences in terms of menstrual hygiene issues. They had been in school. They just left school, dropped out of school simply because of, some of them got pregnant, some of them were interviewed, mostly they could not from a lack of finance or funds to further their education.
Okay, Jeannie?
Hi, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the National Family Life and Health Curricula that's in Nigeria, and if that addresses menstrual hygiene or menstruation in any way, and if it does, how your research is going to potentially adapt some of the lessons or the requirements that are made to teach that in schools.
Yeah, we have a national policy on education, and then covers from A to Z anything that we have, and a well-built national policy on education, including that everybody must be in school, they must have comfortable environment, comfortable work facilities in school, and then, books are supposed to be free, tuition free, but at some level, either the government cannot afford it, or so. But because in junior secondary school, they do what we call integrated science, and this integrated science, inside the integrated science curriculum, we have the subject rather, we have the reproductive system of the male and female. And any reasonable teacher will now use that opportunity, any experienced, skilled teacher will use that opportunity and then, integrate menstruation. Menstruation is quite taught, but again, what is the comfort level about teaching menstruation? Just like what I have, read about the experience of a male teacher and even that of a female teacher. So from the experience we have gathered in the field, you cannot put everything together. Again, because of loss of subjects carried. We have NGOs that come, do some film shows, and talk to girls, both girls and boys, and then various stages of, what will I call it, information through all strategies or all means to, mainstream or integrate MHM into the school. It's not just the curriculum alone. Be an extra curricular activity.
Great. Okay, we have about a minute left. Afshan has one question.
Thank you. I want to ask about the hygienic disposal facility, which you were talking about, because in the cultures where there are many myths and beliefs attached around the menstrual blood and all these things, so what is the culturally appropriate hygienic disposal facility which you people are thinking about? So just...
What is now affordable in school is the incinerator, okay? Or having a deep hole. There is a school that has built with concrete level where all the trash will go in, including the menstrual, or used material. Then every Monday evening, Tuesday evening, every day is burnt. That is the level that we know that it can go hygienically for now. Then there are some that have, pails with covers. Again, the girls don't feel comfortable that they should go and put these, their used menstrual material inside the covered pail along the corridors of the classroom, not even inside the toilet.
Great. Okay, I think we have to move on, but thank you very much,
Thank you.
Professor.